The truth is, a lot of the men in the West and in America who are lamenting the current dating scenes aren't actually ready to take on and date traditional women. In this video, I'm going to discuss the characteristics you as a man need to have in order before you're ready to date these traditional women, before you're ready to attract them and hold them and show them that you're the high quality man that they need and that they deserve in their lives. So in this video, I'm going to cover the things that you should have in order before you start thinking about even dating these traditional women in other cultures and societies and dating abroad. So the number one thing I would say is get on your mission. Feel like you have a direction in life, and it doesn't all have to be perfectly figured out right now. Women don't want to see that you have everything perfectly figured out. They just want to know that you have a plan. They just want to know that you're going somewhere. They just want to know that you're passionate about something, you have a mission, you have a direction, and that you're moving towards that and there's momentum towards that. When a woman or traditional woman sees that a man is idle, sees that he doesn't really feel like he has a purpose or a reason to get up in the morning every day, then maybe meet a few obligations, but he's actually passionate about getting up in the morning and accomplishing something, getting something done, that really inspires and sparks interest in who you are as a man, because it's like, hey, this man has something going on. There's something that drives him. He feels passionate about something and he sees the direction things are going. Because if you don't have a mission in life, whether it's creating your business, whether it's making and improving your faith, or a combination of that, or hey, I'm moving this way in my career, or I'm trying to accomplish this thing, and you're dedicated to it and you show that you're willing to put the work in. If you don't have that in your life and you even just like make the girl your purpose, that is a sign of weakness. That's not going to look good. And that's not going to be a good reflection on you and show that you're a traditional man willing to build a life. It's just going to show that you really have no direction or rudder or purpose on this world. So you need to figure out and do some soul searching on, what am I trying to accomplish in this world? Am I trying to build a business, or am I climbing the corporate ladder but I have a side passion that I'm really working on? Is there a project I'm trying to get done? Where do I see my life going in 5 to 10 years? What am I doing? Who am I with? How do I, manage this situation? That's what women want to know, that you have figured out and that you have even a direction. Like I said, you don't even have to be there right now. It's just they want to see that you know where you're going, that you have a story, there's a narrative to your life. And hey, look, I'm here right now, but where I'm going is way over here and I see myself getting there. Here's the work I'm putting in to get there. I think that's very important for traditional women to see, or else they're just going to see you as someone who is directionless, is weak, and really is submitting themselves to the will of the woman when they want you to lead and they want to follow you. And then number two, having your life in order in some sense in the financial aspect. Now, I understand that, the economy is tough, things are difficult, and the younger you are, this is not going to be as figured out. The older you get as a man, the easier it gets to kind of figure these things out. But a lot of guys I talk to are in their mid-20s or even heading into their mid-30s, are still living paycheck to paycheck, still don't have their finances figured out, still can't afford a charge of more than a couple $100 without going into debt. So obviously, if you're just out of college, you're young, you're not gonna have a lot of money unless you have parents with a lot of money and they give it to you, right? You're not gonna have a ton of money saved up. That's just the nature of this world. You're young, you're still figuring things out. But as you go through your 20s and approach 30, you really should research and look into the financial strategies to help build your wealth throughout your 20s and your 30s. So when you start to hit your 40s and 50s, you can start letting off the gas a little bit, and you can start not having to just work so tirelessly to make ends meet. So when you're in your 20s and 30s and you have a lot of available time to put work into your job and your side projects and your passions and the things you're working on, that is the time to store that extra money, that extra income in investments and opportunities. Or maybe it goes right back into a business that you're building that you see as very, very profitable down the line. That's how you're going to get yourself in a good financial position. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be making, tons and tons of money, millions of dollars or $500,000 a year or whatever. You just need to be financially solvent. You need to show that you're stable, that you have a plan when it comes to your finances, that you're planning for your future, and you're not just getting your paycheck at your job that's going nowhere and then blowing it every weekend and starting all over again. Okay, that's really financially irresponsibility, and women can pick up on that when you are financially irresponsible. But if they see that when you pay for something or you pay for a dinner and you're not really sweating it, It's no issue. You can take care of it. I'm not saying you need to take care of everything or you need to flex your wealth. That's not what I'm saying. But when a expense does come up and you're able to pay it or whatever, you have your own apartment, things like this, and you're not sweating every single little thing, it shows that, hey, like, I can handle a charge and it's all good. Like, I have my finances figured out. I have that under control. And like I said, everyone will be in different shades and gradients of this, but if you're not thinking about ways to plan for your future in terms of what investments you need to stack, where your career is going, if you're not budgeting at all, what are you doing, right? You need to be budgeting your wealth, making sure you're not throwing money down the toilet. Keeping track of every dollar is a really good thing. I have a budgeting template. If you want access to it, let me know in the comments down below. But I enter in my budget and every expense every month because I want to be on top of my finances. At some point in life, will I get to a point where it's not going to matter as much and I won't have to budget out every dollar? Yeah, probably. But for now, do I want to eke out every dollar I can to put it into finances or put into investments or invest in a business? Yes, I do. Does that mean that I don't spend money or have fun or enjoy my life? No, I can do that as long as it's within my budget. It's not about living an absolute minimalistic life. It's about living within your budget and the budget I've set. So get that under control. Show you're financially solvent. And that really is going to show the traditional women that, yes, like, he can provide. Like, I'm not going to be, left out to dust or left out somewhere and homeless because my man does not have his finances together. And the third thing I think you need to kind of have in check to attract these traditional women is a strong leadership mindset in the relationship. If you're unable to lead the relationship, if you're unable to lead and do something as simple as plan a day with the women that you're trying to attract and be in a relationship with, that just shows a level of incompetency. It shows that you're not really able to lead this relationship and show that, like, look, I can make big decisions, I can make key decisions. If you can't even make small decisions about where you're going to eat dinner or where you're going to get coffee at, it just shows a lot of passivity and weakness. I know a lot of modern women and modern feminist programming tries to tell you that, oh, really, boss babes like making all the decisions and they like passive guys. Women deep down really don't like it. Women want to be told where to go, what time you're meeting at, and what you're doing. They don't want to think about it. Okay, they want a strong man to take over. Like I said, a lot of programming has told you that, oh, you should really take the woman's feelings into consideration and really ask them a million things, and maybe they should make the decision. No, they want a strong man to step in and go, nope, we're doing this here, meet me there, that's it. Okay, they want you to take over. You take over those small aspects, you earn the respect. You start taking over in the bigger aspects of the life, bigger aspects of the relationship. What roles are going to be taken over in the household, how children are going to be raised, what religion is going to be practiced. You really should be in charge and in leadership in all those positions, and that is a biblical principle as well. The wives should submit to the husbands, and you should do your best to lead with a clear conscience and morality. So taking over those small aspects is going to help you lead in even bigger aspects. But if you're not willing to do that, you're not really ready to lead a traditional woman. That's what they're going to be expecting. But if you're unable to lead, that's just really going to turn them off to the entire relationship. So being on your mission, find a way to be financially solvent in some degree, and then learning to take the leadership role in the relationship are the three things that you need to have in line before you decide to go date traditional women, date abroad. If you don't have these things figured out, you're really going to be at a disadvantage because you're not bringing the traditional mindset. Just like you want a woman with a traditional mindset and it's going to be able to treat you in that way, you need to be able to treat them in that way and not this silly, feminized Western way. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. If you have any questions, leave it in a comment down below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.